Have you ever read the Transfiguration story as we find it in the Gospel of Luke? It's found in chapter 9 and it's from verse 28 to 36. And it's a pretty amazing story. And I just want to read it with you real quick. But this is what we read in the Gospel of Luke chapter 9 in the ESV version. Now about 8 days after these sayings, he took with him Peter and John and James and went up on the mountain to pray. And as he was praying, the appearance of his face was altered, and his clothing became dazzling white. And behold, two men were talking with him, Moses and Elijah, who appeared in glory and spoke of his departure, which he was about to accomplish at Jerusalem. Now Peter and those who were with him were heavy with sleep. When they became fully awake, they saw his glory and the two men who stood with him. And as the men were parting from him, Peter said to Jesus, "Master, it is good that we are here. Let us make 3 tents, one for you, and one for Moses, and one for Elijah." Not knowing what he said, as he was saying these things, a cloud came and overshadowed them, and they were afraid as they entered the cloud. And a voice came out of the cloud saying, "This is my son, my chosen one. Listen to him." And when the voice had spoken, Jesus was found alone. And they kept silent and told no one in those days anything of what they had seen. I really love that story. And there's so much we can dive into and look at with it, but I find one thing amazing. And that's the fact that Peter's first thing when he's awake to is he tries to explain it. Right? It says he becomes fully awake, and his first thing is to try to come up with something to do. "Oh, Jesus, this is great. We're here. Let's build a tent for Moses, Elijah, and one for you." And it says right after he said that, not knowing what he was saying. And that little part of the story sticks out to me. Because I think sometimes we can have these amazing transformational moments with Jesus. And sometimes we try to describe them with words, but I think words just get in the way. Sometimes we're not aware of what we're really saying. And in those moments, we just have to treasure those amazing transformative moments that we have with Jesus. Like the early followers did with this story before they shared it. Before they told anyone about it, it says in those days they told no one. They kept it quiet. They treasured that moment. They reflected on that moment. They didn't force words to describe it. They just sat with it. And I think sometimes that's what we have to do with those transformative moments that we have with Jesus. We just have to become aware, wake up, experience the moment that might be happening. And then when that moment happens for us, not rush to put words on it. So I want to encourage you this week to take some time. Try to sit with Jesus and just see what Jesus teaches you, what he shows you. And as you sit, just sit in that experience. Maybe reflect on some good experiences that you had, some transformative moments in your story. And just sit with the feelings of it, without words. I know we all have different stories. I know for me, the first time I felt God was just feeling an amazing warmth, just hugging my whole body. And it's hard to get words to describe that, especially when I think that the last thing that I said to God was pretty much for him to F off, which probably wasn't a good idea. But God's love just came in that moment, that warmth. And something that's helped me treasure this memory is not to describe the warmth, because I can never describe it, but just to remember that experience, that transformational moment in my life. So I want to encourage you to reflect on your own, to sit with God and make some space and maybe have some new moments like that. And when these moments happen, or when you reflect on ones in the past, let's try to not rush and put words on it. Let's just sit with the moment and let the words come when they need to. Like the followers of Christ did with this early story of Jesus' transfiguration.